So, about 7 years ago today, my life changed. My mom finally gave me the okay that we could adopt another dog for the family. So we were visiting up in West Texas, and we were looking through the newspaper at the ads that were available to see if there was any puppies for sale. We came across an ad for boxers. At this time, we really didn't know anything about boxers except that they were good dogs. So we went and visited that evening, and little did we know that we were going to meet our playful new red friend. Many people think boxers are violent and aggressive, kind of like bulldogs, but they never really got the chance to get to know them. Not only do I own one, but I did some research on their personality and their history. For generations, boxers have been around, and together we're going to speak about their origin, their roles in the world wars, and their personality characteristics. 4,000 years ago, they weren't companions. They were used as weapons. With their bulky and muscle bodies and their very strong muzzles, they became very useful for that. Around the area of modern-day Albania, they were called Mussolanians. They were very popular and soon spread to Europe, and eventually the Germans got a hold of them as well. The descendants of the Mussolanians became known as the Bolsenbiker. Germany started breeding them in about late 19th century, and a version of the smaller Bolsenbiker became known as the Boxer. The Boxer was very good with gathering and hunting. They could hunt their prey, and they would attack from behind. That way, they wouldn't be as prone to injury as if going from the front. They also were great at guarding the farmlands and keeping unwanted predators away. At this point, according to Martha Mulvaney in The Story of the Boxer, this is when the boxer race began. Everyone and everybody wanted to have the perfect boxer. They were searching for the perfect genes and the perfect type to make the perfect showcase for the boxer. This type was what we have got today, and how they look today. The large and good muscles of the boxer breed was great for war. In World War I, their quickness and their size was great for carrier dogs. They could transfer messages from person to person in dangerous areas without being seen. They were also good at locating the snipers that were attacking their people. They would hunt them down and trap them in corners and wait for his or her owners to come and catch up to them. The dogs were very useful in the first war and as well in the second one. For the second one, the Germans at this time weren't doing very well. They had little food for themselves, and at this point they decided to keep feeding the boxers, because they knew that they could use them in the second war as well. For the second war, they did about the same amount of stuff, except they also guarded the prisons. British and the U.S. tried to use boxers for their war efforts as well. According to the article for the record, the canine Vittles, who was the boxer dog that was given to Mr. Clarence, a American Air Force man, and he was given to a friend of his from Germany. And at this point, the dog would fly with his owner on missions back and forth to West Berlin and drop off their parachutes with help supplies. The general wasn't aware that the boxer was traveling with his soldier and was afraid that it could be dangerous. But then later on, he decided that this was the best moral support that the people of West Berlin could have, and decided to make him a customary parachute. The parachute now is at the National Air Force Museum and is up for display for everyone to see how extraordinary this boxer was. According to Sheila Bonham, the boxer can be very aggressive and headstrong, but they were bred to be like this generations ago. Boxers are also friendly and aggressive, but they're also reserved and stable, and they have dignity and self-confidence that couples with their playfulness and courage. According to the American Kennel Club, they make great hearing guard dogs. With their keen sense of hearing, they can hear when threats are coming from miles away. They also are great in love affection. They are good with kids, they love their humans, and can't stand to be away from them. They are known to not be nervous, and they are known to not excessively bark. Finally, being bred long ago to look and act like they can't help to be who they are. The past makes them loyal and protective, and the great companions that they are. So this evening, now that we've discussed the boxer's past, the participation in the war, and the character traits of the dog, I close with how Rose, my 7-year-old boxer, is the best dog I've ever had. How her breed... Why am I crying? How her breed has come to be makes her who she is, and her spunky personality that I love. Dogs have a past, just like humans, but that makes them who they are. Okay, stop.